Good YouTube, today it's your boy Luke Baker bringing you guys another video, and today I'm going to be doing my mock draft for the 2018 NBA draft. So yeah, let's get it. Hope you all enjoy. Comment what y'all think is going to happen, and yeah, let's get it. So guys, with the first overall pick, I have the Phoenix Suns selecting DeAndre Ayton out of Arizona. He's a freshman this year, and honestly, I have him because he's the hometown kid in Arizona, or not hometown kid, he's played high school ball there, I'm pretty sure, and for sure at college at Arizona State, or not Arizona State, just Arizona, but yeah, you already know what it is. DeAndre Ayton, I think, is going to be the best player in the draft, and I don't know if he's going to be the best, but I think has the most upside to be one of the greats. And yeah, so the potential for being a bust is really low for him, I believe, and the Suns need to land a pick with him. Need to land the pick with him. So yeah, so I haven't taken him number one. You can take Luka Doncic if you want, but I don't really see how him and Booker work together. But Booker and Doncic would be the scariest duo ever, I think, for the future for sure, and that sets him up for a great future and for sure championships to come. I think if DeAndre can hit his full potential and Devin Booker keeps it up. So yeah, so I have the Suns selecting DeAndre Ayton with the number one pick. This boy's a monster. He can do everything. One of the best centers prospects ever, probably, and I think he has potential to be one of the greats. Alright, for the second overall pick, I have the Sacramento Kings selecting Luka Doncic from Real Madrid, overseas player. All the NBA scouts say he's the greatest overseas prospect ever. I believe that's true. I think he has the potential to be one of the great players of all time in the NBA. This is one of my favorite players in the draft. I think he's going to end up being really good and fit whatever team he's on. I'm pretty sure the Kings will select him to fit with all that young core. And honestly, he'll probably be one of the greatest players ever for that Kings history, like for the whole Kings organization, and the best pick in the draft. He's potentially going to be the best player of all time, I think. He's really good. Look at his mechanics. He has a chance to be the next LeBron, just a little younger player. You know, he's not as big, but I think if he gets his athleticism up, he's going to be a killer in the NBA. His basketball IQ is really smart. He's been playing professional basketball since he was 13 years old, I'm pretty sure, for Real Madrid. And I think he just has the chance to be the GOAT. This is one of my favorite players in the draft. And yeah, I think he has the potential to do great things for Sacramento. Sacramento gets him, but also if he does go to Phoenix, I think he will find a way to work with Devin Booker on paper and how they look, like comparing their games. I don't know how they play together, but Luka Doncic with his basketball IQ, I think could get it done. So he can either go number one or number two, but I think number two is a perfect fit with him to play with De'Aaron Fox, so their games complement each other really good. And yeah, so for the number two pick, got the Sacramento Kings selecting Luka Doncic from Real Madrid. Also, he's a point guard, shooting guard, small forward. He can play any three of those, so the Kings are getting a good player with that pick. So yeah, so Luka Doncic, number two overall to the Kings. So it's with the third pick overall, I have the Atlanta Hawks selecting Jaren Jackson Jr. from Michigan State, who I think has a chance to be a really good player in the NBA. I think he for sure will be a good player in the NBA. He has very low bust potential, I think, and just can either be a really decent role player or star playing beside John Collins, who's shown he has potential to be a star too, or also just decent role player. So I think the Hawks get a really good player who has low bust potential. There's three players I think have low bust potential in this game, or in this draft, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr., and Wendell Carter Jr. I think those three are really good picks to get, and I think this pick works out so well for the Hawks and Jaren Jackson Jr. because Jaren Jackson gives you a good fit place that can work well for him. He'll get a lot of playing time, and plus he plays by John Collins, who I think that will help out a lot, and those two can be a good power forward and center combination in the NBA for a long time to come. So yeah, so I have the Atlanta Hawks selecting Jaren Jackson Jr., who also can play defense really good and shoot threes. So I think he's a perfect center or power forward for the modern NBA. So I have the Atlanta Hawks selecting Jaren Jackson Jr. with the third overall pick. With the fourth overall pick, I have the Memphis Grizzlies selecting Marvin Bagley, who I think has the freaking most upside in this draft, along with DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic. There's a lot of players with a lot of upside, but Marvin Bagley, who reclassified, so he's one of the youngest college players this year, was one of the biggest college stars. And I think he fits so well with Memphis, especially Memphis is trying to win with Mike Conley and Marc Gasol. So yeah, it's just a perfect fit. And that's a little to said, like, Marvin Bagley has potential to be really good, but the only thing with him falling to 4 is he's potential to be a bust. And I'm not saying he showed it in the college level, but he really didn't show it off his three-pointers much and couldn't play defense. But that's so easy to change, and people say it was because the system he was in at Duke. So I really think he has potential. I'm not worried about any of that. So yeah, Memphis Grizzlies get a big player, big-time player, big-time potential, and Marvin Bagley. So yeah, so that's who. Alright, with the 5th overall pick, I have the Dallas Mavericks selecting Mohamed Bamba from Texas, UT. So I think, the reason Bamba goes here is because he has also potential to be one of the greatest players ever too, with that wingspan of his, and how he plays defense and offense, and how he fits in the modern NBA. And he also can learn from Dirk Nowitzki, who's not a better role model to learn for a big man. And yeah, so I think Mo Bamba to Dallas makes so much sense. Also that he's from Texas, so it works out so good for Mo Bamba. He learns from Dirk, from Texas, doesn't have to move that far really. Gets to go to Dallas, play for a good franchise. Yeah, and so his whole career can really be really good. So I think Mo Bamba has a chance to be one of the greats ever to do it in the NBA with that wingspan of his, and there's just his offensive talent and basketball IQ in general. So I have the Dallas Mavericks selecting him with the 5th overall pick, who I think that would be considered a steal looking back at this draft if he produces well, how I think he is. So yeah, that wingspan is what drives him from everyone else in the NBA draft. So yeah, Mo Bamba to the Dallas Mavericks. Alright, now with the 6th overall pick, I have the Orlando Magic selecting Wendell Carter Jr. from Duke. Just because, Wendell Carter is a good player and has a lot of potential to be really good, or just a good role player and low bust potential. I think that's what the Magic need now. He plays center power forward, so him and Aaron Gordon could be really good together if the Magic actually run him at power forward. I hear a lot of rumors they say they're taking Trae Young. That could be good for a low market since Orlando's not that big of a market in the NBA. But I think Wendell Carter, they need to win basketball games. So to pair him up with Jonathan Isaac, who was hurt last year for mostly of the season. Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon, that would be good because Aaron Gordon, if they play him at power forward, that would just be nice. And to play alongside Wendell Carter, their games complement each other well. Both of them have good basketball IQ. And I think this how they play together would be so perfect for the Magic. And the Magic can't have another bust player they drafted. Even since Jonathan Isaac, he's not a bust yet. I want to consider. I gotta wait for their first 3 or 4 years in the NBA to see if they'll bust. So yeah. So I think they can take Wendell Carter. Alright, so with the 7th overall pick, I have the Chicago Bulls selecting Michael Porter Jr., who has probably the biggest bust potential, I would say, next to Trae Young, since Michael Porter was hurt at Missouri his whole college year, but his high school career was phenomenal. But that was against high school competition. This is going to be against NBA guys like LeBron, KD, those type of players. But I think he'll be pretty good if he puts in the work, and I think he's shown that he can put in the work. So I think, it's going to be scary, but I think the Bulls need him to, put him over the top. Plus, they have Lauri Markkanen already. Lauri Markkanen's already a baller. Zach LaVine, so they can kind of cover up for Michael Porter Jr. if he doesn't play as well. But I think he's a good scoring, a prospect, and I think they're going to need that. And just think about what Michael Porter Jr. can become. But if he doesn't become good, they still have Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Bobby Portis. They'll be okay, I'm pretty sure, for the future. So yeah. So I have the Bulls taking Michael Porter Jr. and with the 7th overall pick. Alright, with the 8th overall pick, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers selecting Trae Young. And I think they're going to do this because LeBron came out and said he loves Trae Young as a player, as a college prospect. And I think he also fits in with the new NBA and how the NBA is going. He's a smaller guard shooting threes, popping threes like it's nothing. And I think he does have bust potential along with Michael Porter, but I think Cleveland needs to take him if LeBron wants to stay because they're obviously not trading that pick anymore for anybody. And so I think, and it's not even valuable, so they need to take a star with it or someone that can become a star. And Trae Young's the perfect player for them, I think. They could also go with Mikal Bridges from Villanova. I really think they're going to take Trae Young because LeBron wants him. And if LeBron leaves, they have a good player to build around for the future. So yeah, so it works out even if LeBron stays or if LeBron goes. And this dude is a baller, and I don't think he'll be a bust. I think he's going to find a place in the NBA if it's either being just a spot up point guard shooter, transitions into a spot up shooting guard, or just becomes an absolute star like Steph Curry, or even better than Steph Curry. So yeah, I think Cleveland Cavaliers are going to end up taking Trae Young with the 8th overall pick. Alright guys, so with the 8th overall pick, I have my New York Knicks, which is my favorite team, is the Knicks, selecting Mikal Bridges from Villanova. I think because we need a wing player. He can play also the shooting guard, and he's a good defender, and I think he's just going to be a good star in the NBA. Not even just because he's on the Knicks doesn't mean I'm saying this. I think he's not even on the Knicks yet. I don't know what I'm saying, but just because I have the Knicks drafting him, I just think he's just going to end up being a good player. Even no matter what team he's on, he's going to be a good player because he has low bust potential and high upside. And I think that's why he's going to be a great player, and that's who I really want the Knicks to get this year, either Mikal Bridges or Miles Bridges. One of the Bridges brothers, or not, they're not brothers. Did I just say the Bridges brothers? But no, they're not brothers, but one of the Bridges boys. And so, yeah. So I think Mikal or Miles would be perfect for the New York Knicks offense and how we're trying to run it with David Fizdale. The fan with Porzingis and Frank Ntilikina. So yeah, so I have them selecting Mikal Bridges, small forward / shooting guard from Villanova, best defender in the draft. To me, I think when we got Frank Ntilikina last year, I think was the best. To me, who's the best defender in the draft from last year's. So yeah, so I think this fits in good with David Fizdale's kind of style of offense. So yeah, so I have the New York Knicks selecting oh my god, I'm screwing this one up, but have them selecting Mikal Bridges from Villanova. So with the 10th pick and final pick in my mock draft, I have the Philadelphia 76ers selecting Miles Bridges from Michigan State. So he's a small forward. He can play power forward, shooting guard, but I think he's really good as a scoring offensive talent, and he's really good at defense. The boy got hops and can lock down anybody once he showed up at Michigan State. I think the thing that hurt him is he wouldn't have been a top 5 pick, I'm pretty sure. Or at least to me, if he didn't do as bad in the tournament for March Madness, but it's okay. I think he has so much good potential, and if he gets the weight room and he gets drafted by Philly, he's an offensive talent for Simmons to throw to. So it'd be Simmons, Miles, and Joel, and that would just be a scary team to go against. And even if they get LeBron, Ben Simmons is gonna have a heck of a time playing with all 3 of those guys. And Miles Bridges would be such a good tool to play slide at shooting guard, small forward, power forward. Even LeBron's there because LeBron can play power forward, small forward. Don't matter. So Miles Bridges to Philly, I think, would be a perfect fit. And just look how this dude plays. He's such a good dog. He's just a dog. He's going to go out there and do everything. So, yeah. So, I have the Philadelphia 76ers selecting Miles Bridges. Comment what y'all would change and stuff. So, yeah. So, thanks for watching. It's been your boy, Luke Baker. And this was my first final mock draft. I might have other videos out later about other players in the draft for just other NBA videos or sports videos. So, thanks for watching. It's been Luke Baker.